Excuse me, I feel like I haven't been here for a while. It's been a couple of weeks, and let me just see if I can log in. It doesn't, my phone doesn't recognize, or my computer doesn't recognize me. Here we go. I just want to say that we missed one of our group's birthdays on October 24th, and I feel a little bad. SD, happy belated birthday. I guess with everything that was happening in and going to Italy and everything, I didn't think to check if there were any birthdays. And for some reason, I didn't have you down on my card, my birthday list. So happy birthday, SD. I hope you had a wonderful day. Yeah, I saw your ritual morning birthday cake for today, and I realized that we missed your birthday, so my apologies. Okay, I'm just pulling you guys up. That's why you see my hand here. So I feel like I'm lost in my own, and something's not working. My computer keeps freezing. It's really bizarre. I don't know if you guys know how to unfreeze a computer, but I feel like I've got to start it up again. My mouse, it gets frozen every now and then I can't see, or it just freezes and then I can't do anything. So I'm just rebooting. So I am working in the Zeta. It's the Zeta Stillman and Byrne sketchbook, which I was given to by Lou kindly from Arizona, from our trip to Italy. And it's quite a heavy sketchbook. That's probably why I felt so overweight, Lou. And we are doing Gouache Vember, and I don't have a printout of it, but I do have or I can show you if you go to, and sorry, I can't see who's here yet because my computer's not up, but it will come up soon. So Gouache Vember actually has its own page here on Instagram, so you can have a look at the list. Today is ritual, and tomorrow is cake. We have day 6 is community, and Daria Pinta and Cortney SF have been doing this for the past 5 years, and we have been we have been participating as well, which has been fantastic. We love it. It's just something that we have done as a group, so I hope that everybody is okay with doing that. I mean, you can do your own prompts for sure. Okay, let's have a look. Esty says, don't worry, everything is good. Happy birthday to all the Scorpios in the group. I know it's my husband's birthday coming up soon too. I have to organize something for him. Yeah, happy birthday, Esty. I'm so sorry that we missed it, but I have a special drawing session coming up soon. It's Heike's birthday on the 13th, so maybe we can do a joint birthday drawing session. Heike will know what we're going to be doing, but I don't think you will. It'll be a surprise, so we'll do one soon. Good morning, C. Hi, Joanne. Hello, Carolyn. Hi, Laura. Hello, Susan. Hi, Nanette. And hi, Meryl. If you're watching, please say hi. Let me know where you're from. I can show you. So this was my mushrooms day 1. So I'm combining either an image from Italy for the Gouache Vember because I want to do 100 days of Italy, or I have to do one separately. So because we didn't have any specific mushrooms in Italy, it was like within the food and you couldn't see it, I used a mushroom or a few mushroom images from our group. So our group helps us by populating what's called a Padlet, which is a reference bank, and every day there are different references for the day by from camera rolls from our group. So this was day 1. This was of Montalbano, and Montalbano, which is where we were in Italy. And just in case people don't know what these are, they're mushrooms. And then day 2 was machine, so I did this little topolino, Fiat Topolino. It does exist. If you look up Fiat Topolino, it does exist. And Lou and I took a photo of this teeny tiny car. We looked inside it. It could literally fit inside my art room, and my art room is not very big. So that was the Topolino. I finished that yesterday because I missed a day because of travel. And this was Monte di Nove, which was Jen and I were sitting. It was raining. We were walking around, we were painting, and everybody was everywhere in the village. And we suddenly started feeling drops of rain. So we sat under this little, you may have seen my reel on Instagram. We sat under this little arch inside like a little nook of where there was a doorway on the step. But cars were like driving through this little town because it was church, it was Sunday, and we honestly thought we were going to be squished. Like these roads or these little towns are tiny, and the little roads are even smaller, and thank goodness they don't have big cars there, because they would not, they'd get squished, and we would have gotten squished. Anyway, yesterday was it was Nest, so I just chose an image from Italy because I'm doing 100 days of Italy. I just chose an image and used the same palette or similar palette in the image. Hi Pearly, how are you? So today is ritual. And I do have an image from Italy, which I'm going to be doing because then I don't have to do 2. And it is of a morning ritual of our group. I did one after Oaxaca of the group, and so I feel like I think we were almost all here. Maybe Christina wasn't, or maybe she was, but you can't see her behind Lou. But anyway, we had a fantastic time. Some of you joined yesterday, our Zooms on Monday and Friday. We get to chat a lot, which is really nice. So we caught up on Italy. But if anybody has any questions, then Pearly says, hi, this prompt has stumped me. Well, I guess, what do you do every day? What is something that means something to you and that you do it? Like the gathering of breakfast or lunch for me in Italy was like a big deal. I can remember when somebody said, can we make the dinner shorter? And I said no, because our dinner would start at 7 and it didn't finish until 9:20. Or around that 9:20, 9:30, and we had 4 courses, and it was delicious. But it was also a time that we all got to chat and really have a lovely time together. Lunches were also a little bit longer. They were like an hour and a half, or I think we met always at 1 and we didn't finish until 2:30, so like an hour and a half. And then breakfast was an hour. So thank you, Martina. And she says good night, good afternoon to all, and hi Teresa. So yeah, so I think anything that is something that you do on a daily basis, like I was either going to pick this or I was going to pick the lunch table at my parents', and I've drawn that a lot, but it is a ritual that happens every day. And in Italy, food is like a gathering, a ritual, like it's their way. It's like their church. They have the beautiful long meals. Yes, Teresa says that is Italian culture, long meals. It totally is. And I think some people were a little bit stumped, or they're like, I need to get back to get some work done, or I just, I don't need to have this long dinner. But it's an important part of the Italian culture. You're right. Okay, I'm gonna get started. Let me know what you guys are doing. I know that some of you are working on different images. There are lots of images in the Padlet. This is what I took with me to Italy. I did take I took this to fill with the acrylic gouache that we had. It's really acrylic, but I think it's very similar to acrylic gouache. They're the My Mary acrylics. And so I told everybody to bring like an empty container, and I bought acrylics for us for the studio. And so I did take this back with me because they weren't empty. But I also took, which I didn't really use too much, because when we're out sketching, I feel like markers and pens are so much easier than gouache. So this I took with me, but I didn't use this one. I did use the one that I was using yesterday. But so I just put the primaries in, and it's a little pill box. One of them did explode in my luggage, but it's only gouache, so I could clean it up, so that was okay. This is the one that I was using in the hotel room, and I didn't have a palette, so I just used this and worked on my paper. So that, you know, it works as well like that. So I'm going to be using up my my gouache here. Sorry, we're doing gouache Vemba. Using up my gouache before it dries up. I do have the schminke here as well if I need extra. Excuse me. Yes, this was Lou's idea, and because I don't know if I have it here, I have the little pochade box, and it fits perfectly in that pochade box, like just in the top, so I don't actually need a side thing. I think I will try and take my pochade box, an easel next time, because the easels were really flimsy, and I think for demos and stuff it would be nice to have something a little bit more sturdy. So I'm gonna have to really whittle it down and take a lot less than I took. Yeah, that was a little bit crazy. Trying to fit everything into a carry-on, not so easy. So I will be revisiting what I am taking. Okay, let's get painting. I do have a palette which I just sprayed. It's not, and this is like really wobbly. I'm not sure why it's so wobbly, but it's not, it's gouache, so I can reactivate it. I don't want to just, you know, throw it away. So I'm going to be using this and other paints. But I'm gonna be blocking in. I may do this upside down just to get all the shapes in. Maybe I'll do that. You know, why don't we have another upside down? A lot of you have signed up, by the way, for Thursday's paint session. Thank you so much, with Natasha from the Artist Toolbox. I'm co-hosting, and we're doing markets, so it's another way that you can get a market scene in. I know that everybody really enjoyed last month's market scenes, so this will be an hour-and-a-half painting session with Natasha. I'll have my overhead on so you can pin me, but she will be sharing images from like that we've chosen together. So a lot of them are hers. She lives in Bolivia, so that's why we have to do it quite late in the afternoon, evening. So I apologize if you can't make it. I know it's late, very late for Europe, sorry. All right, picking up some of the colors that are on here. And I'm just going to block in. So I do not use too much water with my gouache, especially if I know that it's one color that's just going to be blocked in, and then I can work over the top of it. So I'm trying to get trying to get that color down, and I try to make it as flat as possible because when it dries, it's better that it dries consistently. If not, you are picking up the color. Layering gouache is so much easier when you just, when it all dries at the same time. C says, I'm trying flamenco dancer. Oh, very cool. Yeah, there's a lot of different images on there. And, you know, if you don't have a ritual and you're doing these prompts and you are part of our group, then just try one of the others. I know that C is actually doing not just one a day, but she's doing at least 2 and sometimes 3. So Martina, are you painting this month with us? I know Martina likes mixed media, so I'm not sure if she is doing gouache. And Esty, are you painting with us too? I think I can go a bit lighter over here, so I'm just going to mix in some white. Teresa says, can't wait to see your flamencos. I will try to do some this week. Working on Nest. Busy day yesterday. Oh yes, how did it go? I saw you set up a Instagram page for your little art gallery. Teresa is in North Carolina, and she set up a, you know how you have little libraries in neighborhoods? Her and her husband have built a little gallery, which I think is so cool. So cool. So she has been encouraging others to do the same. And I'm sure I can't be too difficult. I'm not sure if our community here would... we don't even have a little library. Maybe I should set up a little library. Okay, I want to get that tablecloth. There's a lot of, or table color. It's almost like a mauvey, light mauvey gray color. So I'm just mixing, lifting the, or regenerating the gouache. I don't want it bitty though, so I need to probably put a little bit of water in. Maybe a little bit more red and then blue. I mean, like we say, it's not always about the color, but more about the value. So, and I think I've gone too dark here. Martina says, I think I will, but today I'm just watching. And Teresa says, yes, created the page, but have to post. The ladies mostly wanted to watercolor. Interesting, isn't it? A lot of people find watercolors very, well, find them difficult, but I think a lot of people also like them because they're not so messy and maybe less intimidating than paint, like the least intimidating paint that there is, perhaps. When you guys started painting in your, creative years, did you have a medium that you either were afraid of or didn't want to approach because, well, like a reason because of it? Tell me in the comments. Or was there a medium that you steered towards because you felt more comfortable with it? They made very good cappuccinos at this hotel. And I'm usually a black coffee morning person, but their black coffee was not strong enough, so that's why I went for the cappuccino. I guess I could have asked for doppio espresso and then put the water in there. Teresa says, see if an organization would sponsor you. Our sponsor is the Women's Club and the town where the park is located. You're so busy. Yeah. Yeah, and I have a lot of Christmas commissions to get done, so I will be working on those during the day in the next few days. I think I have 6 Christmas card, the little family portraits that I do. I have 6 to do in the next 10 days, and I've told them that they will be done in the next 10 days, so I have to get those done. Okay, there's a little bit more sun up here, so I'm going to change the color. Carolyn says, watercolor, it's the most difficult, LOL, by far. I know, because there's no saving what you put down. You need to be really sure. Oil is too smelly and too long of a process, but watercolor is harder than gouache or acrylic. Absolutely. Nanette says, oil paint overwhelmed me years ago. I don't do well with the solvents, but then I learned that actually, I was going to put lighter, but I'm going to do the dark first. I learned that you actually don't really need to use solvents. You can use Gamsol, which is not so smelly as turpentine, and you can actually clean your brushes with soap and water, even if they're oil, which I did not know either. Like, they really stay away from marketing the basic cleaning like cleaning supplies that you could use, that you have in your house, and really they just want you to buy all these hard, look, I'm not sure even if I'm getting it in the right spot. We're trying. Anyway, so that's why I didn't. I was using oils for a little bit, and the solvents were getting to me. Actually, I was varnishing a lot of like furniture and stuff like that, and yeah, I was getting, my stomach was getting upset because of it. So I stopped and said no more. But now I know that you actually don't have to use all those horrible solvents. brush is a little bit big, but it has a good pointy tip to it, so I can use it to get some of these shadows in. And when I turn it around, I can correct a lot of things that I am seeing. Oops. Nanette says, yes, since then I've learned about oil paint. Ciao or hola, Chris. Hello, hello, welcome back. Benvenuti, grazie mille. Thank you, thank you. Italy was amazing. I mean, you guys have all heard it, but if you have any questions, please do ask. I was actually quite surprised at the amount of work that everybody got done on the trip and how dedicated everybody was to working, the amount of hours that everybody put in, which was, it was great to see. Okay, that could have been a little bit bigger. I'm getting a bit lost here on my upside down. I'm trying to just look at where my darks are. I'm trying to follow what I teach, because it's so much easier just to look at the shapes and not overthink things. So good morning, Melissa. How was your trip? My trip was incredible. It was great to see family first, and it was definitely a good thing to have an extra day in Italy on either side. Probably could have done with 2 days before we all met, like one day before we all met, because it's just nice to get, you know, into the rhythm of sketching and painting. And I know that we all did it on the retreat, but even just getting used to sketching out in public, and you know, not everybody is used to that. So I know that there were a few people who had been in Italy for a couple of days before, and I think it really showed just them having, you know, started their sketchbooks and were just getting used to drawing and sketching in public areas. So that was good. And the hotel was just amazing. I can't say anything bad about the hotel. It was definitely like 5-star treatment. And the town that the hotel is in, everything was so quiet. I felt like coming back to Canada, it's just so busy, and people are like, they're just rushing everywhere. And in Italy, it's such a different pace. And I get it, you know, the cities are probably a lot busier, but you just have to go out into these little villages, and there's hardly any people in them. and they're just beautiful. Like the area that we were in, we were surrounded by the beautiful landscapes, rolling hills, very similar to Tuscany. A few less, of the tall cypress trees. I think they're called something else, but yeah, so a few less of those. There are palm trees, there are sea pines. It's gorgeous. So we really did have the best time. And there are mountains in the distance, the Sibilinini. I can see it, but there's like two ends close to each other at the end, the Sibillini. I think it's the Sibillini Mountains. And they're huge. Like we were at 800 meters in the town that we were at. And the Sibillini Mountains are, does anybody remember? Are they 2,000? I want to say 2,000 meters tall, something like that. They're very tall. Maybe somebody can get the right height for those. Hello, Bitty Penny. How are you? Annette says people probably turn to watercolor because it's easy with just paint and water. Reminds me of childhood paintings. I think you're right, Nanette. I think it's, easy to mix for sure. So that was going back to a statement that Teresa had a bunch of ladies come over to her house for a drawing creativity session, and she said that they all kind of wanted to use watercolors. So okay, let's lighten this up slightly. I'll probably turn it round. Well, not yet, but soon. There's some lovely shadows that go right off of this table up onto the wall. And there were people of all level of abilities who came to the retreat. I had a very good friend who was on the retreat who has never painted before this year, basically. This was her first year painting. And she took a couple of my classes, the foundation class that I have. And she did that throughout the year, like both the foundation 1 and foundation 2. And she learned so much. And she was comfortable doing whatever we were doing, which was great. And then another lady she's a surgeon, and she wanted to try. I think she's done art before, but not for a long time. And she wanted to try it, and she was amazing as well. And then there were people who have been, doing art their whole life, and then there were people who were getting back into it. So it was a really great group, very varied. Like, you don't have to be somebody who practices art every day to come on a retreat like this. Yeah, and there was lots of opportunities to try different mediums and try different subject matters. We had a portrait day, we had a landscape demo, we did demos when we were out. They were short because I know that people just wanted to get on and start their paintings, so I didn't I made sure I didn't go on too long with the demos. And then we have, like, when I do my retreats, we always have a few Zooms prior to where I do some demos as well, because I think that helps just get you into the rhythm of whether it's quick sketching, and we did a lot of that, which is great. Yeah, so we had We had a great time. The food was incredible. And just going around to different villages was so fun as well. Okay. There's a lot of room here, which is not supposed to be. I think I've got this wrong. I'll have to see. Let's get some dark brown hair. Sibillini Mountains are 2,476 meters. That's almost 9,000 feet. That's really high, like very, very high. So they were beautiful, and they changed, and the weather changed so much there. So every morning you would wake up, like we went for early morning walks, not all of us, but some of us went for early morning walks. And that was a ritual as well, because it was get up before the sun rises and try to get up to the top of the village, which was a good, you know, hike up a very steep road up to the top where the church is. You probably saw a lot of my images were of the mornings, the morning sunrises. And yeah, it was a good hike and a great morning ritual. Loved it. But you could see the Sibillini Mountains, and they changed every day, and each sunrise was so different. I know it is here, but it's very different. Like when you have mountains and hills, the weather can change really quickly. When we have, you know, everything is flat here in Ontario, and really things don't change as much so quickly, so rapidly. Yeah, it's probably the same in Japan, right, Melissa? Like the weather probably changes a lot. Oh, Jennifer, I didn't even realize that you were wearing your giraffe top. I love your giraffe top. Okay, so I'm going to change this down here. So if you're just joining, I'm just blocking in shapes because sometimes I find it easier. I mean, I may turn it around and it'd be completely wrong. I've had a thought of doing some deconstructed images, but I think I'm already doing it anyway, so I don't probably need to go into that very deep because I do that with these. Melissa, I am trying to figure out if I can make it on the, was it the 15th that you guys are meeting in Toronto? I don't know if I can, but I'm trying. See if I can. I saw all your messages yesterday. So let me, I think it'll be time to turn around soon. Teresa says, people start with watercolor because it also costs less, and they remember Bob Ross, who made it look easy. Didn't Bob Ross use oils? I thought he used acrylics, actually. Biddy Penny says, I am well, enjoying your story time and painting. I'm curious what kind of paint you're using. So all this month we are using gouache, and I'm using traditional gouache. Some people are using acrylic gouache. You know, like it's whatever you prefer, but acrylic gouache is basically acrylics which dry flat, and gouache can be reactivated where acrylic gouache cannot be reactivated. I'm using the Schminke. You can't really see it because my paint's exploded on my trip, but it's SCHMINCKE, which is, I think, a very affordable brand, and I like it. Silky introduced me to Schminke Gouache, so I've been using it quite a lot, especially for like daily painting sessions. I think that it's a great medium that you're not, you know, some gouache can be very expensive, so I tend to steer towards something that, if I'm doing a daily exercise like I am this in a sketchbook, I won't use the really expensive stuff. One, because it's covered, it's not getting exposed to light. Oh, Zoe always had the best colors on. She had all these beautiful greens, and yeah, Zoe was in love with your color palette of your clothes. Really lovely. I don't usually wear that, but like, I would like to start purchasing more of those beautiful greens for sure. Okay, we have Heike's hand here. And now I just want to fill in the faces. Teresa says, Melissa, yes, but I think there was a few times he changed it up. Melissa says the weather was pretty consistent when we've been in Japan. Oh, okay. October 15th in the morning, if anyone else is around in Toronto, let us know if you want to join an in real life meetup. I will be meeting around the Humber Bay Arch Bridge at 9 a.m. for a few hours. Melissa says location TBC. To be continued. November, yes. November 15th, not October. Betty Penny says, nice, I have some inexpensive gouache. I need to use it more often. Well, we're doing gouache all month, so I will be here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, live at 7 a.m. It feels wrong that it's November. Oh, to be confirmed. Yes, it does feel wrong that it is already November. How did that happen? It's crazy. I'm chatting with my group that's coming to Oaxaca already, because that is less than 3 months away. So, you know, we're trying to get that in order together, excited about that. So if anyone is interested in art retreats and coming on a trip, you know what's nice is that, yes, you can travel with your family, but when you're immersed in painting and drawing all day long, I know that some people's families don't really care to do that or be around it, so it's really nice to be surrounded by people who want to do the same things as you. And you get to travel with like-minded people as well. Maybe you don't want to travel on your own, but you want to travel, so that's always good. Okay, gotta figure this out. Okay, I think it's time to turn it over, and then I'm gonna have to fix some things. It just, you know, painting upside down, it just helps me just get a base, if anything. That's why I like it. Okay, I'm gonna get some more water as well, because gouache does make your water really dirty, and because I haven't cleaned up my desk, I don't have much room for another pot, so hang on 1 second. Okay. Oh, this was the hotel we stayed at in Ancona. It was really lovely. great little hotel, and not too, like, not, well, I mean, when you do the conversion, I try not to think about it because, you know, for us Canadians, everything is expensive. So when you're traveling and you're like dealing with euros, it's almost like it's more than 1.5 a Canadian dollar. So yeah, it wasn't too expensive. It was okay. I chose the smallest room because I don't need a huge room just to sleep in. So okay, let's go a little bit smaller, and I'm just going to see where I can adjust and maybe make people look a little bit more human. There's no food on, there's just coffees. I don't know what, I think this was maybe our first morning, and we hadn't figured out that we could go, oh no, there was maybe some food. I was going to say we hadn't figured out that we could go and get some food. And good morning. If you are just coming in and watching, we are doing gouache Vember prompts. I don't have the list right here, but if you go to gouache Vember on Instagram, you can find the prompt list there. And yeah, we've been doing gouache Vember with Cortney and Daria for the past probably 5 years. I've known Cortney for a lot longer because I met her actually. I can't remember if I met her in San Francisco. I think Cortney came to a sketch meet that the other Cortney SF, when I was doing Creative Bug, when I was filming Creative Bug in San Francisco, Cortney Cerruti organized a sketch session, like in-person sketch session, which was lovely, and a lot of people came out to it. It was nice. We picked up dinner, we picked up like drinks, and I feel like Cortney SF was there, but we didn't actually chat. So because there was a lot of people sitting around different spots. Anyway, so I think I've known her since 2018, maybe before that. So yeah, when Daria and her decided to do Gouache Vember, I was all on board because one, I think my first year that I did it, I used acrylic gouache because I was using that before I was using gouache. And then the year that we started doing prompts, all of us, I think we were doing Mayflowers, and I got my first Himi set, and that was like the traditional gouache. Thank you, Melissa. Melissa says, make sure to like this stream for sure. It's so nice to have her back. It's funny, I asked everybody what they were up to, and a lot of people were like, well, we slept. But you probably had some good art hang parties, Melissa, which I did not catch. So I can probably go back in, and there's replays of Melissa's art hang parties. Sorry, Tracy, if this doesn't look really like you. I think I'm getting paint on my sweater, always. So anyway, yeah, so they've been doing it for a while, and Daria still uses gouache, acrylic gouache, and I'm sure Cortney uses traditional gouache. I think she does. We've had a session together, Cortney and I think maybe Daria and I too. Way back when I was live on Instagram. So you can probably try and find that. I don't know how to search for things on Instagram like that. Like it doesn't always show up. Smiley, squinty faces are quite easy to draw. Needs to be a little bit darker. Julie's hair. Essie says, I'm happy that you're back. I missed you. The meeting and all. Yeah. It's, I mean, obviously when I was away, I didn't miss doing my lives, but I do miss everybody when we're away. But we were so busy, so busy every day, that we really didn't have time to miss anyone. Like, not miss anyone, but miss doing these kind of things because we were so busy doing others. So this is where I love this, like, color blocking, but just taking a color and seeing where I can put that color. That's a lot of my images get built like this. Is Leslie awake? Leslie with her shades. And meeting everybody in person. Some people I've already met before, but meeting others that I hadn't was very special. Okay, I need a little bit of a darker area again. C says, oh, I'll check out Teresa. Need to get her address. I have her address. See, you didn't write it down yesterday when she put it in the chat. If you didn't, I have it, so I can send it to you. It is, oh, Melissa, do you know the status of the strikes here in Canada? Like, are things being sent? Are things not being sent? Okay, we have Lou here. Like, I don't want to send anything if it's going to just not get there. I guess I can use something else, like, no, Pure Later is Canadian too. FedEx. Okay, my head, I need to sort that out. Let's figure out up here, Lou. Susan says, thank you for taking time to share your adventures in Italy with those of us at home. Not the same as being there. No, I try to, you know, like I'm not very good at editing. So I try to just like gather images while we were there. Because at least then you can see, you know, the beauty of and where we've been going. And it's, and it really does not capture the same, like images do not capture the same as even when you're there. Just the grandeurs of that beautiful, like we had this view from where we were sitting. So we were sitting here, but looking out past where I was, we had the whole valley and the mountains in the background. Oh no, that side we could see the sea from where we were, which was fantastic. The Adriatic Sea. So it was pretty incredible to have those views. They had set us up inside in the morning, and I said, oh, can we please sit outside because it's so beautiful? But they thought it would be too chilly for us. But I'm like, no, I think everybody would be fine with wearing like a sweater or a light jacket if they do find it too cold. Like we can't, there's not many months of the year in Canada that we can sit outside. I know probably in Arizona and places like that there you can sit outside for many more months of the year, but not here. So yeah, it was nice to be able to share as much as I could with you guys. Okay, purple or like a mauvey color. I don't really use too much purple, do I? Lou was our purple girl. She wore a lot of purple. And Zoe was our green girl. She wore a lot of green. Okay. I'm going to get Heike's nose in. How are all your drawings going this morning? I know a lot of you are working on your images. Are they going well? Melissa, in real life, IRL in real life, yes, see. Yes, IRL is in real life. Yeah, they're having, she's organizing a get-together with anyone close to Toronto, in Toronto. Stripes are always fun. Whoops. Gotta figure your head out there, Lou. Amy, hi. Glad to see this. Hoping Italy was everything wonderful. Italy was everything wonderful. It was really magical. And I know a lot of people had been to Italy before, but I feel like this region is so lovely because it's quiet, not many tourists. Obviously the bigger cities had more tourists, but this was just, oh, it was so great to just be able to walk around. There were no tourists in the villages that we went to, other than the bigger towns, but everything else was quiet. And we thought one of the places they were just opening the restaurant for us, but then suddenly the restaurant filled up, so there were people actually living in these towns. Just very, very quiet. We had the best pasta making class. I've just ordered myself one of those long, which I probably could have just gone to Home Depot and got a dowel, the long rolling pins that they use to make tortellini. So you actually don't, well, actually you can use that to make tortellini as well, but you don't need a machine. And we learned that actually handmade pasta in Italy, it's better if you do it by hand. Like, they have more respect for the handmade pasta that is a little bit thicker, that they know that it's been cut by hand, which that is really interesting. I did not know that. So if it has a little bit more bite and is a little thicker, that's when you know when it's good pasta, and it's respected a lot more than the one that you make with a machine. That's what they said anyway. So we did machine pasta as well, but actually the one that we cut was fantastic. Yeah, really nice. I'm gonna add, we have Nick down here. I think I'm gonna add Christina and Louise at the bottom, because if not, they won't be in here. Yeah, so the pasta making course was amazing. Every dinner was incredible. And I think as we got closer to the end of the trip, more people were spending more time in the studio in the evening. At the beginning, I think we were all just so tired, we just went to bed after dinner. But as we came closer to the end and we had to finish pieces, a lot of people were spending more time in the studio. We had a studio which we could just close the door and leave everything as is, which was great, because there's nothing worse than having to clean up everything after you've been painting. And we could paint outside if we wanted to. Okay, should have left this a lot lighter. Bye, Melissa. Have a great day at work. My goodness, I just saw the time. Okay, well, I have to go as well. Thank you, everybody. I know that it's not really 100% finished because I want to get Luis in here, and I'm going to put Christina just down here catching the light as well. So we'll do those two. Carrie, Zoe. Oh, and I just want to say, you know, when you arrive at a hotel and everybody knows your name, like as you're walking in the door, that's kind of freaky, but it's very, very endearing that they knew all our names as we were walking in. And they do these retreats every week for 28 weeks of the year. So all the staff knew our names. It was wonderful. They knew the drinks that we had in the morning. You know, they would, if we didn't say what we would like, they would bring it out to us. Or they would say, Charlotte, would you like a cappuccino this morning? So it was, yeah, it was really special. I don't know. I've never been to a place like that before, so. Christina's hair. I'm going to get a photo of Christina and put her on there. Blue needs to be a little bit darker in the face here. Okay, I'm going to stop there because I've got much more to do and I don't want to, like I just want to overhike his nose. I'll figure this out. And I got to do the table. So lots to get done. Oh, thank you, Susan. I'm trying to capture it because it was like really pretty with all the light and everything. So I know that there's just a few areas down here that I can change. Get some shapes on the table and a lot of little coffee pots on the table. So tomorrow is cake, and there are lots of images of cake on our Padlet. If you'd like to join our group and contribute to images, please go into the chat, or into the description, and you'll see links to join our group and our monthly challenges. I posted on my Instagram that yesterday, just quickly, there's a lot of people who have a lot to say about monthly challenges and how they don't think it's beneficial or, you know, you could be maybe doing something else instead of doing, but for me, this is my exercise. So that is a big reason why I enjoy these monthly challenges, because I can experiment. It's not a commission. It's something that, you know, I choose to do, just like if I was going to exercise or go for a walk or go for a run. This is my daily, this is really my daily ritual. And so it's not a, it's something that I choose to do, which I have been doing, or we have been doing for the past, you know, 5.5 years. So choosing a prompt that we can work on is just a way to keep that ritual going, and exercise, which I think is very important. And I don't think it needs to be overwhelming. I don't think it is overwhelming, but some people feel overwhelmed when, you know, when there's a monthly challenge, but I definitely don't feel overwhelmed. I think I would feel lost if I didn't have something to do on a daily basis. So I wanted to put that out there yesterday. Some of you saw it, some of you didn't. Oh my goodness, my face. Ooh. And I'm happy that you guys join me in doing this daily ritual. Martina, clap, clap, clap. Thank you so much. C says, bye for today. Off to paint with my friend. Yay, have fun. And Betty Penny says, I find monthly challenges help me stay focused and move the needle towards progress. Yes, absolutely. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining. If I don't finish this, then that's okay. It'll be as it'll be in our daily. And if you missed, we are on day 4, and day 4 is ritual. And I love this sketchbook. Love it. You know what? It doesn't lie as flat as the pith, but it lies pretty flat. So I think double spreads are great in it. And I love it. Thank you, Lou. All right, everybody, have a really good day, and I will see some of you tomorrow morning. Bye, everyone. Bye.